Check it out.
I've watched some weird events, and this year's Red Bull BC1 was just a really weird one. Like, so much stuff that I never predicted happened. I've got to say, I'm shocked that Hedy crashed out first round, like, and especially the way he did. Like, I don't think I've ever seen Hedy crash, let alone like 3 times in one battle. So that was amazing. Like, what's going on? Secondly, man of the match has to be Kazuki Rock. Like, crazy some of the weird stuff that he was doing, and yet consistently winning battles. That's awesome. Like, we need more of that. Guys like Kazuki Rock. Bumblebee, again, absolutely amazing. Like, so much energy and so much passion. It's good to see Bumblebee representing at this level because he showed a lot of potential in the Olympics. Please watch my videos. Yeah, none of these other videos. My videos are the best. Trust me. Yeah, you got that? Okay, so yeah. Anyway, regardless of the fact that my videos of Bumblebee are by far and away the best from the Olympics, yeah, just really good to see him stepping up as this new talent on the scene and looking really good. I'm looking forward to him clashing with Shigekix again because I know Shigekix is hungry to battle him again. I think they're 1-1 at these big events, so yeah, can't wait for that to happen again. Few controversies that let's address these. First of all, there's the fact that Red Bull BC1 decided that the Taiwanese b-boy, Monkey King, is representing the land of peace and love, it would appear, because he had an all-white flag. This is an appropriate metaphor for Red Bull BC1, throwing up the white flag and surrendering. Now, this is tough because I know this comes down to the whole issue, which is really complicated, of China and Taiwan, which, yeah, we'll be here for years if we get into that. Like, personally for me, it's very difficult because Red Bull BC1, I can understand that Red Bull might be thinking, you know, this is not the time to make a political stance. But at the same time, just whiting out their flag, that seems a bit pathetic, to be honest. I mean, maybe having neither country show their flag is maybe a solution, but like literally putting a white barrier over the Taiwanese flag, I mean, come on, Red Bull. Like, that's not the solution. I don't know what the solution is. And to be honest, I'm not even going to get into that, but that's not it. That's definitely not it. Real sissy stuff there from Red Bull BC1. Then the other thing we have to talk about is Menno winning again, beating like half of Japan in the process. Yeah, I know. It's tough because I really wanted Kolya to win in the end. That's Killer Kolya, the Kazakhstani b-boy. But I gotta be honest, I think Menno won that. Please don't unsubscribe. Let me just quickly explain this. Okay, when it came to the final, I thought Killer Kolya did a great job at the end of the first round by doing crowd pleasers. Like, that's the way to beat Menno. You have to be more musical than he is, and you have to do those crowd pleasers because Menno's all about the business. Like, it's no frills b-boying. It's just like, let's go, like, you know, hit. Guys like Kazuki Rock give him a big challenge because they're fan favourites. They're guys that you can watch for hours and constantly be entertained. Whereas Menno, bless him, is an amazing talent, but he's not a crowd pleaser. He's not one of those guys that gets the crowd like super hyped. Okay, so yeah, really good attack by Kolya at the end of the first. And you could see actually at the start of his round, Menno looks a little bit shook, and that's testament to how smart that was. Like, it's just such a simple thing, but when you can incorporate that into your set, it really does a good thing. You know, often it's about presentation, and we'll get to that when we talk about the Bgirls in a second. And clearly, Menno's wobbly second, the first is debatable, the second is clearly Kolya. The third, in my opinion, is Menno, because I don't think Kolya really brought it out at the end, whereas Menno was doing a lot of tricks, like freeze tricks and flow tricks and all sorts of complicated stuff. So I think basically it comes down to that first round, and there is a really good argument for Kolya winning it because, you know, he ended so strong. But I gotta be honest, I do think Menno overall was a little bit more consistent. You know, I have my problems with the way that Menno won. Like, he knew what he had to do to win rather than actually going out there and surprising. Also, a lot of the comments were saying that they thought that Menno hasn't really innovated a lot since, you know, he first came on the scene a few years back. But I don't think you can necessarily judge a battle based on that. Like, for example, Shigekix, when he went to Red Bull BC1, was using a lot of his familiar tricks that we'd all seen 100 times before. But I don't think you can judge the battle based on that. So yeah, Menno was doing all the stuff that he's done for year upon year. But you have to look at each battle in isolation. Like, did Menno win that battle on that day? I've got to be honest, I didn't want Menno to win. I thought there were B-boys I much preferred. Kazuki Rock, Bumblebee, obviously. Really impressed by Kolya as well. Like, what a great run Killer Kolya had. I've got to be honest, I did think Menno won all of his battles. Yeah, hey, it's the way it goes sometimes. Menno has to be aware that, like, how it looks when he continues battling at the end. Like, I have done it. I had a battle against a Hong Kong B-boy called Big Boy Phil. And we both got so hyped that before I knew it, I was actually like battling another round way over what we'd been allowed for that battle. When Menno did that, it did get me thinking that maybe he thought he'd lost. There's also this still when he's leaving. I'll slow it down so you can see it. It seems like maybe Menno wasn't really happy with his final performance, and when he continued battling after the time had finished, it did make me think maybe Menno was a little bit shaky with his performance. At the end of the day, it's down to the judges, and you know how it is. Now, the other news, of course, was the Bgirl finals, which was Ayumi getting revenge against Andrea and then unfortunately crashing out at Castet. I gotta be honest, watching this live, I slightly edged Ayumi, and it was telling that the first vote was for Ayumi because it was that close. It's part of Body Carnival. They've just been on a tear recently. Really good stuff, but unfortunately consistently falling short of that final hurdle. So, guys, it was awful to watch. I did think Ayumi slightly won just because she was slightly more rounded than Castet. Like, otherwise they were more or less the same. But I can completely understand that the energy and the delivery by Castet edged the judges towards her. I also knew that Ayumi was going to lose as soon as the first judge held up Ayumi because he was consistently disagreed with all the other judges the entire night. So, says everything right there. Looking at this, the only things I noticed was the missed thread by Ayumi. Because she did it first, I wonder if that maybe stuck in the judge's mind a bit better, because Castet also missed her thread. I think maybe because she was replying. Often the first person does it, it sticks in your mind, and then if the next person does the same thing, it doesn't seem like such a big thing. I also thought Castet cut her third round a little bit too short for me personally, but it's really, really debatable battle, that one, so, you know, no problem whatsoever with Castet taking it. I would have personally edged Ayumi, but it's all good. It's all love on that one. And then, Rebel BC1, did you have to get the sister of the person who was defeated in the final? And it's obviously very emotional about it. Did you have to get her to present the belt? I mean, I know that they'd arranged it that way, like that Narumi would give the belt, and I guess they maybe thought that it would be Ami or Ayumi that won it. So, you know, obviously, as you know, Ayumi is Narumi's sister, and Ami is really close friends with the Body Carnival crew. But, oh dear, Narumi, you broke my heart. Like, watching that, like, jeez, Red Bull BC1, you don't have to do that to my girl. Like, Narumi, we love you. As a lot of people know, she was one of my first teachers coming to Japan, so, you know, that's the home girl right there. But Red Bull BC1, like, there's a point that, you know, you should stick to the script, and there's also a point that maybe you should say, maybe this isn't a good idea, and probably that's the point where you've got Narumi just looking absolutely devastated as she hands over the belt to Castet. Now, a few other things. Firstly, the first judge consistently choosing differently to everyone else. Hilarious. Like, what was going on there? Secondly, the return of the butt spin. Kazuki Rock and Killer Koya. We love you because you've brought back, like, back in my generation, there was a joke that the one move that no one can make work was the butt spin, and the other one was the dick spin. Like, that was it. Like, there was no way anyone could do anything fresh with those moves. And if you told me in 2019 that the finalists in the top 4 would have, like, innovative butt spins, I would have, you know, laughed at you. But props to you guys, like, innovating the butt spin, like, that's some next level stuff. Props to that. So yeah, shout out to that, and hopefully we'll see some dick spin innovation next year. Then, commentators. Going along with what we were saying earlier about Red Bull BC1 trying to be really nice and friendly to everyone this year and not trying to offend anyone, comes their choice of commentators. Awesome job, both of them, but they really did not want to offend anyone. Do you remember Renegade last year was basically like dissing half the people, saying who he thought did and didn't win, calling robberies and all that? This year they kept it very, very simple. It was just like, oh, that's lovely, oh, that's nice, oh, maybe he'll win, you know. played it safe. I understand that, but Red Bull BC1, come on, you know, on the live stream, let's you know, let's go a little bit crazy. Hey, if you need a Brit to like basically berate everyone, you know my number. So that's our take on Battle of the Year this year and Red Bull BC1. Yeah, to be honest, I enjoyed both, but they've definitely seen better years. But there was some amazing hype. Like the top 16 this year at Red Bull BC1 was incredible, like really, really good. And if you haven't seen it, go back and watch the Last Chance Cypher because it was really, really dope. Especially Nori. Nori absolutely destroyed his Last Chance Cypher. Unfortunately, ending Icy Ives' fantastic run. I know there was videos made about him and his like sacrifices to get there. So shout out Icy Ives. Mate, if it hadn't been Nori as your opponent, I wanted you to win. But unfortunately, Nori's the homie, so Nori all the way. Yeah, and what did you think? Do you agree with us? Do you disagree with us? Did you think Collier won? I know a lot of people do, and please leave a comment if you do, and let us know why. And what do you think? Should Red Bull have done that with the Taiwanese flag? I mean, you know, are Red Bull really going to get involved in Taiwanese politics? I mean, come on, it's a soft drink company. Like, you know, what are you doing, guys? Let us know in the comments, and if you disagree with us or if you agree with us, please let us know. And anyway, this is the Daily Flavour Cast, so shout out all the Daily Flavourers. And this is Flo and Jules signing out. Peace.